In August 2017, Adam and Ben were in China with their parents, their sister Maya, and their entire family from Israel, for their Saba and Savta's 50th anniversary. Adam was 23, Ben was 20. On one of the last nights of the trip, in Shanghai, Adam and Ben wanted to go to a bar to check out the nightlife. They pre-gamed over a few Red Bull vodkas in the hotel room with their uncle, Amir, who ended up staying in, and Adam and Ben went to hit the town. When they walked outside, they met a little man, who looked unassuming and harmless, on the steps of their hotel, which was a decent hotel called the Renaissance Hotel. The man asked them where they were going, and they told him they were looking for a bar to meet some other people who spoke English, since they had not met many English speakers in China. He told them he knew a great place, and said he would go with them in a taxi, so they felt comfortable. Adam and Ben were sitting in the back of the taxi, talking in Hebrew, so the guy couldn't understand, asking each other if it was safe. They thought they could take him, if it came down to it, and also that China was pretty safe. Famous last words. They arrived at a sketchy condominium building after a short drive. He said there was a party upstairs. They for some reason trusted him and went with him in the elevator. As they rode up in the elevator, they started to get a weird feeling, and quickly sobered up as they realized how vulnerable they were. The elevators opened on the 16th floor, and in front of them were about 10 members of a Chinese mafia in a strange-looking office space. They said, "Hello. This is either going to be very easy, or very difficult. We need $10,000 from each of you if you ever want to see your parents again." They looked at each other, terrified, and took a deep breath. They played dumb, and pretended they didn't speak English. That did not help. They called them stupid Americans. They took them into a small room with bars on the windows, and started to interrogate them to get money out of them. They took all of their clothes and searched them, and found a few $100s in their socks and wallets. They said they needed more money. They sent in a huge, 300-pound, 6'6" man to scare them, and they continued to tell him they did not have that much money. He left after a while, and the boss came in, a little guy with big gold chains and a gun. He tried to scare them and said they were being difficult. Adam and Ben started talking in Hebrew to each other to come up with a plan. Adam said he would pay with his credit card and call the bank to tell them what happened the next day. They took them back into the main room and tried to run the charge on a small credit card machine. The transaction bounced, obviously, and they became angry. They agreed to take them to an ATM, and told them to withdraw as much as possible. They sent them outside with only one guy, who was a little bit less scary than the others. They all walked outside, and as the man smoked a cigarette, Adam and Ben asked him for a cigarette, and they smoked and chatted with him. The man said he was involved in this shady business because he had 2 secret kids over the one-child policy at the time, and he didn't have enough money to provide for them. Adam offered to give him all of their money and to say that they got away. He said no because his bosses were watching. They didn't want to run because they knew he had a gun. When they got to the ATM, Adam walked up to it and started pulling money out. Ben covertly motioned for a taxi that was fortunately driving by, counted to 3, in Hebrew, and then told Adam to speed walk to the taxi. The guy came after Ben and pushed him against a bus stop near the taxi. Ben pushed him out of the way and ran into the front seat. Adam tried getting into the back seat of the taxi, and the guy grabbed Adam's arm. Adam fought him off and jumped in the car. They put all of their money on the taxi driver's lap, and told him to drive straight, as fast and as far as he could. The guy chased behind the car and was making phone calls. The driver drove for about 15 minutes, and they had him making turns as much as possible to lose anyone following them. They couldn't find their hotel and the driver didn't speak English. Since their phones didn't have internet in Asia, they couldn't find the hotel. They randomly asked the driver to make turns that they thought were correct, and the hotel magically appeared. When they saw the hotel, they jumped out of the car and sprinted to the lobby. Once they were safely in the lobby, they looked at each other, hugged for a long time, and sat down. They stayed in the lobby watching Lil Wayne music videos to calm down, as their bodies were still in shock. This is the first time they are telling their family and friends the full story. Hope you enjoy the visual.